Hey everybody, welcome to this edition of Telemazing. Today we're going to be talking about Netflix The Crown. We got Melissa Slaughter here to kill it with the reviews, and let's just get right into it. Before you watch The Crown, what were your expectations for the show?
My expectations was that it was going to be pretty much like a masterpiece theater show set on Netflix. That was it. It was going to have these kind of long drawn out sequences and this kind of, very British stiff upper lip. I pretty much expected Downton Abbey, but on the royal family, and that's what I got.
I kind of went into this with very high expectations. To be fair, Matt Smith is very much a Doctor Who type thing, but he is also a theater guy, and so this is the type of show that is in his wheelhouse.
Yes.
So I wanted to see how well he would do in this. Another high expectation for me is because it's Netflix and it's because of the royal family, I know that they can't mess this up. The Queen for Britain is, in a way, the Kennedys for us.
Yes.
In the sense of, if somebody messed up about the Kennedys,
yes,
taking away the assassination because of all the conspiracy theories. But like, if you make Jack say one thing different than the way he would usually say it,
yes,
the Kennedys would get all up in a roar, and then the people who were connected to the Kennedys would get all up in a roar and banish the show to Canada. So like, which happened. So it's very much, you can't mess this up.
Correct.
Going into the show, Episode 1, loved it.
Yes.
Episode 2, really liked it. Episode 3, you're taking too long to get to the point of the plots.
So that's what I expected, was episode 3 style pacing. So in the first episode, they held the tension for some of the scenes for so long, but did it so well.
Yeah.
They had all of these references and foreshadowing, and you knew he has to die because the king has to die in order for Elizabeth to ascend the throne. So you knew it was going to happen. And you had all these time jumps to kind of show the relationship, show her marrying Philip, jump ahead to a year or two into their marriage, things like that.
Right.
So when it did finally even out in episode 3, I was just like, this is now kind of disappointing, even though it's what I initially expected.
Let's go ahead and talk about the characters.
Yes.
So let's talk about Queen Elizabeth.
Claire Foy is, I think, perfect. She has all of the things that I want. She has the amount of emotion I want, and she shows it really well, but she also has that veneer of like very British stiff upper lip. Her accent's also perfect. So she is, like I said, perfect.
Like, you can tell, like, she can be emotional and stuff like that, but like, you can tell episode by episode, especially after the death of her father, that she's becoming you can see the power ascending, which is, I don't know how to necessarily describe it, but I know that's not an easy thing to act. Moving on to
Matt Smith.
Yeah. Philip, I'm fine with him. I'm not like blown away by his performance. I don't think it's any. I think honestly he gets upstaged by everybody else in the show.
Really?
I think that the King's performance was way better. I think that the performance by the guy, sorry, I don't remember
the guy who's playing Pete Townsend, the military guy?
The military guy, and even the daughter, I think, are doing better performances than Matt Smith. And that's not to say that Matt Smith is like bottom barrel, like when you say bad performer, he's bad. He's great, but like in comparison and relative to everybody else on the show, I'm not necessarily knocked out of the park by him.
That whole scene with Elizabeth, that's lovely, and he has a gravitas to him. I think he just hasn't quite had a moment to really come out and shine yet.
Let's talk about... Wow.
Isn't he great?
Like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, if he doesn't win an Emmy, heads will roll for me. Because the way he's acting Churchill is so brilliant.
Yeah.
Out of everybody, like, he's just nailing the performance. And convincing, like, he's so convincing, he's so strong, he's so strong while still showing off that he is definitely losing it. In a way where he's still being respected, but at the same time, and liked, but at the same time also kind of looked at as, we kind of need to move on from this guy.
Yeah.
Like,
and you see some of that insecurity in him, which is hard to portray, both the strength and the intensity of somebody while simultaneously showing that they know that everyone else around them is starting to doubt them, and therefore they're starting to doubt themselves.
Right. The King.
Yeah.
Jared Harris is just, wow.
Yeah.
Like, I hope he wins, like, recurring character, a guest appearance on a show, despite the fact he has high billing.
BAFTA.
Like, even though he has a high billing on the show, like, he's just like, I can't.
You're sad to see him go.
I am.
Yeah.
It's just like, he drives so much of what happens. It was kind of funny while watching him when he does die. It was like watching like the last episode of David Tennant. Like, I don't want to go. I was like, I don't want you to go.
But that's when the show really starts because that's when Elizabeth becomes queen.
Yeah, and see, and I think that's where the show kind of bites itself in the butt there. It's more of like, people should be thrilled, like, oh yeah, the show begins now.
Yeah.
And so you're just like,
But I like it.
Could have there been a better way for her to start her crown?
The only other person I think that we haven't talked about who I think is wonderful is Vanessa Kirby.
Okay.
I'm really excited to see her continuing on in Margaret's story, and Margaret does have a lot of juicy stuff coming up, so
Okay.
it's going to be very exciting.
So, The Crown, worth watching.
Absolutely.
Okay, awesome. I agree. It's one of the better shows on Netflix. And along with that, it's one of those shows where you actually learn something while you're being entertained. Because I didn't know anything about Queen Elizabeth, and now I'm learning it. So it's like, this is cool. Let's keep watching this. That's it. That is The Crown on Netflix. That's what we thought. Now, tell us what you guys think in the comments below. Is it good? Is it bad? What are you guys thinking about it so far? Along with that, make sure if you are new to Telemazing that you subscribe. We have new videos every Tuesday, every Thursday about random show reviews. We do top 5 lists, and along with that, we may play a game or two. It tends to happen. And of course, we have a podcast every Monday that you can check us out and get on Google Play or on iTunes or on Stitcher or on SoundCloud. Wherever you guys get your podcast, we're there, and we do an hour-long podcast, which is a lot of fun. Make sure you check it out. So subscribe to the channel, subscribe to us on iTunes, and subscribe to us in your hearts, because we know you love us. Anyway, for Melissa Slaughter, I'm just Mwamba. Thank you for watching. Now go watch some TV.
The idea was that she was going to abdicate when she became the longest running queen and finally let Charles get it. Charles is never going to get it. Charles knows he's never going to get it.
I want Charles in charge of me, though.
You really don't want to say that 2-3 days before the election. What is wrong with you?
What's wrong with what?
You know Scott Baio is like super pro-Trump, right?
Oh, right. Sorry. I didn't even make that connection. I was just like, I want Charles in charge of me. And it worked in that regard. You made it worse. You brought Trump into this.
Scott Baio made it worse.
No, you brought this into it. I was just doing a Charles pun, and now we can't have nice things.